Coach, you and I were talking before we began the interview a little bit about Marion, and they have really struggled over the last couple of years. But you made a good point that the scary part about this team right now is much like what Anderson did to you guys in the postseason after you beat them in the regular season when they got everybody back. What do you know about this Marion team right now?
Well, I mean, coming into this game, they have some very good skilled players. I know they have the injury bug going through them, and that's what makes them pretty scary from the standpoint that you're not sure what you're going to get week from week. I know the film that we got, different guys appear different weeks and then they disappear and that, so you're not real sure what you're going to get. So, we're just going to have to go in, and one of the things that we've talked about all week is we have to go about just working on ourselves this week. Yeah. It doesn't matter if the team's 0-4 or 4-0. There's obviously some things that we need to work on and we need to get better at. So that's been our focus this week, is on us, and hopefully you'll see a few more turnovers, a little bit better tackling, whatever the case may be on Friday.
The Trevino kid has been their starter, but it looks like, at least on the depth chart that they provided, they have a freshman in there, or at least he split time with Trevino. Do you know who's going to be their quarterback?
Well, right now, we think it's going to be the freshman kid. They've had 3 different quarterbacks over the course of time, and they have we've seen on film 2 different quarterbacks. So we're just looking to, the scheme doesn't really change whoever it is, so it's just a matter of good regular defensive preparation, and whether it's the freshman kid or another kid, it doesn't matter at this point.
Do you take a different approach? The scheme stays the same, but do you take a different approach if it's, instead of a veteran-type quarterback like Trevino and maybe going after a freshman and kind of rattle him up a little bit? Do you take that approach?
Well, sometimes. It just kind of depends upon the game and the game plan and this and that. Obviously, a lot of the times the freshman is easier to rattle, and he may see some more pressure than we would maybe with Trevino, but right now it's just a matter of not knowing for sure who it's going to be. We're just going to do our stuff. If come game time, if it looks like we need to blitz some more, we'll blitz some more. If we need to sit back and be patient, kind of let the game come to us. They run some option. They do a pretty good job with that. And sometimes when you blitz, you put guys out of position. So, it's just going to be a matter of one of those things. With the multitude of things that they do, with the multitude of guys that they could have, it's just going to be a matter of playing good, solid defense and know your assignment and not get lulled to sleep. It's
kind of hard to tell, I guess, then, from the standpoint they don't seem to run the football very well, but that could be the injury situation again, and they've been behind in so many games that they have to throw the football, but their skilled people, like you said, look like they're pretty good.
Absolutely. They have some nice receivers, nice big, tall receivers. The quarterback is capable of throwing, as you said. On film, their starting running back was not in the game last week. He was out of town at a family thing, and so, and the fact that they've been behind in points, it's kind of hard to tell what you're going to get. But they obviously they like to run the ball. I think that's what they try to do. But they've been in situations where they've had to throw the ball, and they have some good skilled kids there. So again, it's just going to be a matter of playing good, solid base defense, at least to begin with, and until we kind of see what the situation is.
Coaches, you'd mentioned last week, I want to go to maybe the center quarterback exchange, because you had some troubles with that again last week. And Farrar has, give him all the credit in the world, he has not been a center before, and that's probably not an easy thing to do. Have you done anything to try to help him out a little bit more, just to give him more confidence? I'm wondering if it's more mental now than anything.
Well, it is a little bit mental. I mean, I think there's some things that you can practice it. Not all of them are totally on him. Some of those things I think were within the quarterback's reach as well. So, it's nobody's fault in particular, but we've been working with the center, we've been working with the quarterback, and I think that's something that you'll see come game time that we've taken care of, I hope.
It's amazing how much that can really mess up the play, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm not just talking about a really bad snap, even one might be off the mark a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Everything's based upon timing, whether it's a passing game, run game, whatever it is, it's all based upon timing. And if the quarterback's got to crouch a little bit or the ball's off to the right a little bit, it can disrupt the timing, and I think that you've seen that it has, and obviously one of the things that we've been working on and we're going to try to get better at.
Last week was one of those kind of games that wasn't real pretty. You go in there, you get a win, you're on the road. The Wells kid has that 90-yard run early, and then you kind of checked him the rest of the game. At the late run, it didn't matter too much in the overall scheme. When you went in, did you envision the way you'd keep him in control after, especially had such a great game against Anderson?
Well, I think that first of all, the kid's a great runner, and he's had some big yards and big scores and that. We never mentioned him specifically to the kids. We never mentioned the 6 touchdowns or the yards that he ran. We were focused on them offensively. I thought our defensive coaches did a great job with a great defensive game plan. And we've talked about before, as coaches, we can X and O all we want. If the kids don't understand it or can't carry it out or we don't put it in a way that they understand, it doesn't matter. But I think the kids did a great job understanding what we were trying to do, reading the scouting reports. There were certain tendencies there that the kids on the field kind of recognized based upon formation or where a kid's lined up at or whatever. Hey, it's going to be one of these 2 plays. And like I said, I think our defensive staff did a great job breaking that stuff down, and our kids did a great job studying it and carrying it out.
One area you've talked about is missed tackles. I think if you look back, and I might be wrong if you looked at the film, that he might not have gotten that 90-yard run, but there were a couple of missed tackles at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, yeah, certainly, absolutely. That's some of that was, a couple of those. We broke that down, and really, you can kind of look at the missed tackles, and some of them were the kid's just a big, strong kid. He just ran through. Some of them we were bad alignment. I think on that 90-yard run, we broke that down in film, and really there were probably 8 or 9 guys wrong on that play, or not wrong, but not doing their job as they're coached to do.
Yeah.
So although there might be 1 or 2 guys that might have missed the tackle, there was another guy who wasn't there when he should have been there. There was, it's one of those things where tackling is the deal, but a lot of the times it's just the small things, and that's one of the things that we harp at the kids. Hey, it's the little things. It's it's the little things that's the difference between a good team and a great team, and we're striving to be a great team. We're not there yet, but hopefully, they'll continue to work, and we'll get there.
You have to love film, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. the eye in the sky doesn't lie.
Yeah.
So it's easy to kind of look at and break that down, and it's a great evaluative tool, and our coaches do a great job, and helping teach our kids with that, and the kids do a good job focusing in and watching. So yeah, it's a good tool.
I always like to ask about the injuries. I know, but it always plays into a factor, and you're banged up a little bit last week. Did you get any healthier this week?
We're okay. Parker had an exit there in the game for a while. Part of that was a little bit of an ankle, but he's a gamer. He'll be playing, and he'll be ready to go come Friday. And other than that, I think we're okay.
All right, Coach. Good luck.
Great, thanks.